Well, today, guys, I got quite a find. So, I went to Weird Stuff Warehouse looking for a monochrome monitor, specifically a black and white monitor from about 1979 that I looked at for quite a while. It was for my, I was gonna use it for my scanning electron microscope. I was gonna hijack all the inputs so I could make that as like the screen for the scanning electron microscope. Well, they evidently sold that monitor finally, but they happen to have another monochrome monitor. They wanted $25 for it though. It was a Hewlett Pack. It was a Packard Bell, so that's pretty cool because I'm kind of nostalgic for Packard Bell because that was my second computer, my first being a Sperry PC compatible from 1986. Well, I was a little bit, I don't know about the price, so I didn't want to get it for 25 bucks. It's not worth it for $25. $10, $15 maybe. It's an amber screen too, so it's like the yellowish. It's kind of interesting. Well, I was I took that to the testing bench to plug it in and see if I could like probe it or whatever. And I turned around and there's a huge cart of giant 8-inch floppy drives, tape drives, and hard drives from the late 1970s. $50 a piece. They had some tape drives that were that big. Enclosed too. Not like there's a cartridge you take out, but it's like that's what it is. Instead of having like a hard drive, it is a tape drive to where you tell it to seek for something and it winds the tape till it finds the thing it wants. Then if you want to like it's a tape always in there. Kind of like how a flight recorder, at least the older types, worked, where it was a reel that was like locked in there. Just that's all it would only ever use that one reel of tape, because that would just be like it was like bolted into the system. So I find it kind of interesting. You don't see the many reel-to-reel data systems where the reel is not removable. It's that reel stays in the machine. So that's pretty cool. It's like $50 for that. I didn't get one though, just because I don't really think I need one. But I got a very large 47 megabyte hard drive from 1979. It is that thick, that wide, and that deep. It is a behemoth. The biggest hard drive I think I'll ever own. And I also got a 8-inch floppy drive for pretty much these floppies. So I have the floppies, now I just also have the drive too. I can't wait to start messing with it. It'll probably be a good while until I get an actual like video made about them, because I dropped them off at work because this is a lot of stuff that I got. Because I did end up getting the monitor. I got a floppy drive for 50 bucks and the hard drive for 50 bucks because it's like 50 bucks is a lot of money for each one, but it's 1970s like server equipment, basically mainframe equipment. It's not that easy to find. You know what I mean? So $50, sure. But they gave me a discount on the CRT screen, the monochrome EGA CRT screen. So they sold that to me for 15 bucks because I was buying those two things. So that's pretty cool. But I dropped them off at work, so I'm just gonna have them at my desk so I can like tinker with them and research stuff up over lunch. That's why I started doing that a lot, to where I spend like my lunch sometimes tinkering with some of my projects, and then once the projects proceed enough, I take them home and I can do a video about them. Because to be honest, I need a bunch of time to look at things and probe things and mess with things before I can really do a useful video. Otherwise, it's just going to be a video like, oh, look at that, that's interesting. I don't know what that is though. But I would like to have a video of like, oh, look at that, that's interesting, I know a lot about it, so here's a lot of information. Or, look at this, I can get it to work. That's kind of how my camcorders were. Because, well, my most recent camcorder, because I took it to work and over lunch I would tinker on the VCR and get like the new belts in and stuff like that. Well, lunch or stay late, whichever. I'd spend a lot of time on it. So yeah, maybe in a month or so I might bring one of those things back I'm really happy with those purchases, to be honest. At first it seemed like a lot of money, but it is a lot of money. But I think I've been wanting that kind of stuff for a long time, so I went ahead and got it, and I'm good that I didn't pass it up. Although Weird Stuff Warehouse still has a cart full of those. I think they have about 8 floppy drives. There is one other floppy drive that looks like it's complete, and so this actually might be usable. The other ones I wouldn't trust, but there's one. I think it's I can't remember. The brand name starts with Q. I left it on the top, so if you go to Weird Stuff Warehouse, it's the one on the. I think it's one of the ones on the top rack. There's also a bunch of hard drives and stuff like that, so that's pretty interesting. Be very careful though, because they won't accept returns, and they don't seem to check those devices because a lot of them have capacitors and like chips just like scraped off the board because of they're kind of really gnarled up. So I actually spent like 45 minutes looking through all the devices, looking for, okay, is there any ones that don't have any issues? And there was 2 of them that didn't seem to have any issues. Although I went with the one that was, well, the one I left there, that one, when you'd spin it, it felt really nice and smooth. But the front of it, whenever you press the button for it to let go of the floppy drive, let go of the floppy disk, it had like a nasty plasticky ka-chink sound. Whereas the other one, the one I got, had a big cast aluminium part on the front, so it made like a ka-chung. Actually more like a ka-chung. So it sounded like it's better quality, it's heavy material, so I got that one. Even though when you spin the motor, it's a little more crusty. But whatever, it's old stuff, it's all random. So yeah. Evidently, the hard drive that I got, it looks almost like SCSI connector on the back, but evidently it's called SMD. Not sure I'm going to talk to that. I could look at getting the CryoFlux board. I know the CryoFlux would work with the 8-inch floppy drive, but I'm not sure if it would work with the hard drive. I could figure that out though. I'm still trying to figure out more about it. I believe it is... I can't remember which one it is. It's the Hitachi... I will have to check. Hitachi DK811A-2. But I found best search results, and it says on the main thing that it's a Hitachi DK8112. Or just look for Hitachi DK811. It looks like it's from around 1979 or 1980 or so, but this one I have is a DK811. Is a DK, yeah, whatever the number was, DK8112. But all the information I can find on the internet is about the DK8114. So I'd assume that the 4 came out after the 2. The 4 came out in 1980, so the 2 that I have most likely came out before that. At least that's how my reasoning goes. And I'm pretty sure it is 47 megabytes. 47 megabytes in the 1970s. That's pretty good for a hard drive. I could put DOS on there, and I could load a lot of games on there. That'd be pretty cool. Main issue is just like accessing the data on it. Oh, actually, the main issue is reading the data. No. I'm so sorry. The main issue is, or the first issue is powering it. That's what I mean. First issue is powering it, because I would like to spin it up and hear the sound. I bet that thing's so cool sounding. It's going to be so awesome. Problem is, though, the power pin, or the power connector, requires like 9 pins. So it's like, oof, I don't even know what the pinout is on that. And there's not really much help on the actual board, because sometimes it'll actually say on the board like, oh, this is ground, this is 12 volts, this is 3 volts, this is 5 volts, but this one doesn't say anything. And I can't seem to find any like data sheet for the Hitachi DK811, any of the series. But oh well. I'll keep looking though. Well, that seems like it's going to make a really great data archaeology video. I don't even know what kind of system it would be used in. It was probably before Unix, right? Or no, Unix was in the... I don't even know much about Unix, to be honest. Unix just doesn't seem that fun. It's funny though. There's a lot of people that are super into Unix, like with Linux and Mac. It's just like they're like diehard Unix fans, and it's like, ugh, yeah. Oh well. Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. I am really hoping I can finally read these. This one, the CPM users group. So that'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody here, somebody watching this that could really use an 8-inch floppy drive also. Well, if you live in the Bay Area and you want to spend $50, go to Weird Stuff. They have some. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya!